All right. Well, you can start your playlist at the beginning again if you have it already going. And we can go ahead. We're actually going to start in Shavasana today. So instead of sitting up, if you want to choose to sit up in Sukhasana, you're more than welcome to. But we're going to be starting off on the floor. So if you want to lay all the way down in your corpse pose, you can start to roll that spine down, taking up some space. Just going to scooch on by a catso, excuse me. Roll the shoulders down the back, just like you're coming into Shavasana. You can close the eyes, you keep the gaze soft. Beginning to connect with the breath. Noticing the breath passing in and out through your nose. And take a few moments to maybe go over your day. Check in with yourself. Noticing if you're carrying any weight in the body, maybe in the shoulders, in the back. Tension in the jaw, the forehead, the head. And you might be able to send that breath there. With each inhale, you help to fill the space. And with each exhale, you help to sink into it a little bit deeper. Noticing everything that's happening in the body as you start to connect to the present moment. On your next inhale, you might bring your awareness to the temperature of your inhale passing through your nose. As it hits the back of your throat and disappears down into your lungs. And then on your exhale, feeling it leave the body at a different temperature. And you're more than welcome to create your own mantra. But if you would like to not think, the mantra, the affirmation, or the intention that I've set for this class is, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And again, you're more than welcome to add on or create your own. Whatever comes to mind that inspires you, gives you energy and motivation. makes you feel comfortable, comforted. We're trying to connect with the body and our central nervous system so that we can really stimulate and open up and relax. And the easiest and best way to do this is to talk super kindly to ourselves. Shower yourself in love and comfort and words of kindness and love. And sometimes that means literally telling our nervous system that we are safe and our body's okay, and we're doing this for our greatest good. Let's go ahead and take a few more breaths, starting to come back to the present moment, getting ready to do some movement. Start opening up those hips. You can start by wiggling fingers if you need a little extra movement to bring you back. You can reach the arms up overhead for a full body stretch, really extending through those fingertips and toes. Feeling yourself be nice and long. And then let's go ahead and bring those knees into the chest, giving yourself a little squeeze. The knees can stay close together, or you can take them a little wide, making some space in the pelvis. Rocking side to side, massaging the lower back. Continue to breathe in and out through the nose. Let's go ahead and start by grabbing a hold of the right leg. And we're going to extend the left leg down long on the mat. Really ground down through that left leg. So you might be able to press the heel of the left foot into the floor. That way you kind of feel the leg connected as much as you can. And we're going to pull the right knee into the chest with the hands. And you can kind of pulse here, bringing it back, relaxing, pulling it in close. As you start to get a little comfortable, you might be able to rock that knee side to side just a little bit. Maybe taking them in circles, going one way a few times. And making sure you go the opposite way as well. And then we'll add on a twist from here. So you can take the left hand, grabbing hold of the right knee, cross the right knee over the body, coming into your twist. Ground down through the right shoulder, extending the right arm out to the side. And maybe the gaze goes over the right shoulder, or you can keep it up towards the sky. You want to relieve some pressure in the hips. You can place a block underneath the knee. So I'll switch sides so you can see what it looks like. It could be on any level, but it gives a little bit of support if you feel like you need to place it down somewhere. Continue to ground down through the right shoulder. And you're more than welcome to stay here as well, but if you would like to add on, you can extend the right leg long, grabbing a hold of the calf, walking the hand down, just even grab the ankle, getting a nice hamstring stretch as well. And then you're going to go ahead and bring that knee back in through center. And this time we're going to take, keeping the right leg in, so keeping the knee pulled in, we're going to try to extend the right leg up towards the sky. You can lower the leg as much as you would like to, but if you can try to lift and engage, so squeeze the quads, squeeze through the calf, you can point the toes or flex the feet back towards the face. Engage the lower belly, and again, keep pressing that left leg into the floor. And then go ahead, release that right leg back down to the mat. Maybe you notice if one leg feels longer than the other, just for a moment. We'll get them even right after this. So we're going to take the left knee into the chest, again, pulling it in, grounding it down through the right leg, pressing that right heel into the floor. And you can pull the knee in close, relax, and let it go a little bit. Pull it in. Relaxing, shifting the knee side to side. Just little subtle movements here, nothing too drastic. Just kind of getting a feel of how that hip feels right now. You do those hip circles or the knee circles, more like going one way. And then reversing your direction. And let's go ahead and come into our twist. You're going to take the right hand and guide the left knee across the body, coming into your spinal twist, extending that left arm out to the side and taking the gaze either over the left shoulder or up towards the sky. And I'm going to switch sides again. Grab your block if you feel like you need a little support. Taking a few breaths here. And again, if you would like to add on, you can extend the left leg now out straight, grabbing a hold of the calf. Maybe you can walk the hand down, grab the ankle, and even maybe you can grab the big toe, but today is not that day for me. Continue to ground down through that shoulder if you made your little adjustments. And then we'll go ahead and bring it back to center, continuing to bring that knee, the left knee into the chest. We're going to extend that left leg up towards the sky. Again, you can try to pull it in as much as you can while grounding down through the opposite leg, or you can lower it, kind of feeling your way into it. So you might start off here, but as you really engage, finding your strength, you can pull it in as much as you can. But I notice the higher I go, the more my other leg creeps up. So you might have to find your compromise here. And go ahead and release that left leg back down to the floor. Maybe your feet feel the same length again, your legs feel the same length. That's pretty cool. Now we're going to come into a bridge pose. You're going to bring those knees in towards the glutes. So bending through the knees and feet just outside the sit bones. You might be able to graze the heels with the fingertips. You're going to press into the four corners of the feet. So press into the heels, press into the balls and the big toes, and send those hips up to the sky. Knees engaged, knees engaged, knees in line with the hips, engaging through the quads and the glutes, pressing the hips up as high as you can. Continue to breathe. Try not to hold your breath. Take one more inhale here in. And on your exhale, you can lower the sit bones back down to the earth. Maybe you windshield wiper the legs just to release those hips. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross the ankles. And I want you to start to roll the spine. So you're kind of rocking here, kind of building some momentum. And you're going to come to sit up. And what we're going to do is we're going to again keep continuing to cross over the ankles, coming into our tabletop pose. You'll have to rearrange yourself here because you'll end up all the way off your mat. So from our tabletop, we're going to go ahead and wake up the spine with a little cat and cow action. So you can drop that belly, lift the gaze, curl the tailbone up towards the sky. Take your inhale in. And just a thought here in our cat cow. If you ever feel like you need to keep the toes curled under for a little added support, you are more than welcome to do that. There's nothing saying that you can't. So whatever you're feeling, sometimes you might feel the passive tops of the feet towards the floor, but if you ever feel like you need a little extra grip there, it's your practice, do what you want. Just kidding. From here, we're going to go ahead and exhale. If you haven't already, come into your cat back, press the floor away from you, pull the navel into the spine. Inhale, drop the belly back into your cow pose. You might add a little extra movement here. You can sway the tailbone, wiggling those hips, lean it forward, lean it back. The Sanskrit word for cat and cow, well, there's actually quite a few of them. The one that is most common that you'll probably hear the most is Marjaryasana. Go ahead and exhale, come back into your cat back. You can continue to find that movement, again, leaning back, leaning forward, wiggling through the spine. And on the next inhale, when you feel it coming, roll it back into your cow pose. Bittilasana is the cow version, the cow Sanskrit. And then exhale, round it back into your cat. Inhale, let's come back to center. And we're gonna warm up through the entire body here with, it's called bird dog is what the official name for it is. You know, it probably has 1,000 names, or Parsva Balasana. So you're going to, again, if you want to keep those toes curled just for a little added support here, you're going to extend the left leg back behind you, press that floor away from you, engaging through the core. Nice long spine here. Engage the glutes, engage the quad. You can flex the feet or you can point those toes, it's kind of preference. And then you can stay here. This might be enough. Or if you'd like to add on, you're going to extend that left hand up towards the top of the mat, bicep along the ears. Press into the knuckles and the fingertips of the right hand. Try not to collapse in the lower back and keep breathing. And go ahead, release the left hand, right knee to the floor. And we're gonna switch sides. So it's first start by extending the left leg back, finding your engagement, pressing the floor away. And you can continue to add on by taking that right arm up, bicep along the ear. Neck is in line with your spine. Find a spot to look at. And go ahead, release the hand and the knee back down to the floor. You can come into a little cat back, pressing the floor away from you. Kind of releasing that tension that we built up in the spine. And we're going to go ahead and come into Balasana, stretch out through those hips, so child's pose. You can come to sit back on the heels, widen the knees as much as comfortable, letting gravity do some work here before we jump into our downward facing dog. Walk those arms down long, rest the forehead down. Send that breath all the way down to the belly. And make this really passive. So completely release here. Feeling the hips open up. Encouraging the let go aspect of the passiveness. Fighting the urge to engage. As you begin to sit here and let gravity do its thing on you, you might be able to feel gravity pressing down on the back and the hips. Let's go ahead and press those hands into the floor, walk the hands back in, and we're going to rise it up back into our tabletop pose. And we will meet in our first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So you can walk those hands out, send the hips up to the sky, paddle the feet out, bend the knees as much as you need to here to press the chest towards the tops of the thighs. And you might place with some movement, you might be able to bend the knees, scrunching up and then straightening as you wake up those legs, wake up the shoulders, feel the body start to engage. And you're going to squeeze those biceps along the ears, the elbows, so the inside of the arms, the inside of the elbows, the creases of your arms are going to face each other. There's a lot going on here. From our downward facing dog, we are going to come into Ekapada, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana, three-legged dog. So you're going to take that right leg, sweep it up towards the sky. Keep your legs straight and squared. And we're going to take that right foot, we're going to step it up in between the palms. So you might need to make some space, keep the leg up as high as you can get it, grab a hold of that foot if you need to, and place it up in between the legs, or in between the hands, sorry. You might need to adjust your stance in here. We're going to come into triangle pose, Trikonasana. So I'm going to turn around so you can still see me. So I'm walking that back foot in. The back foot's going to turn towards the short edge of the mat. You're going to press into the feet and we're going to rise all the way up. So the front foot, toes are facing towards the mat. Back foot's turned. We're going to reach and extend through the torso. Take your arms out to your T, send your hips back, reach the right arm forward. And then here you can start to turn, making your little triangles. This is a great place for a block if you would like to add a little bit of support. And I forgot to cue, the right leg is straight. So you can have a little micro bend in the knee, expose my leg here. Keeping a soft bend might feel good. So there's a lot of tension building up right here through the inner thigh, down into the knee. You feel it a lot there. The gaze might be able to go up towards the left thumb. And instead of trying to reach for the floor here, I want you to reach and rise up through the torso. So spiraling the chest open. So we're reaching up towards the sky, more so towards the ground. We're gonna rise all the way up, coming back here. Take a reverse triangle, reverse Trikonasana. Same leg set up, but just reach that right arm up towards the sky. Left hand grazes the back thigh. Might feel a nice deep side body stretch. We'll rise all the way back up. And we're gonna come into, I'm gonna break this down as much as we can, starting in half moon pose. So the front foot's gonna stay exactly where it's at. This is also a handy place for your block as well for your support. You could also come to a wall if you would like a little extra for your balance. You're gonna walk this back foot in. So you're gonna start with the feet relatively close together. You might be able to reach down, grab a hold of that block, and start to pick the back foot, the left foot off the floor. Finding the balance and engagement in the right leg. Lift through the core, start to lift the leg. You're turning the body over towards the side of the mat. And as the higher you reach that leg, the more your balance is going to shift. To find a spot to look at, and you might be able to reach that left leg all the way up in line with the hip, and that left arm might be able to come up towards the sky. Otherwise, keep that leg down a little bit, engaging everything that you need, getting comfortable with this weird side opening, you know? And if you come out, if you fall out, again, just see if you can feel that motion of the left leg sweeping back up, finding your stability, maybe reaching it all the way up, opening it up to the side, and then releasing it for a moment, you know? Again, just playing around here. It's a lot of movement, again, a lot of opening through the right inner thigh. And you might get in one more time, finish where you're at, and then you can meet me back. We're gonna take a forward fold, both feet flat on the mat, facing the top of your mat, bending the knees as much as you would like, kind of taking a ragdoll fold variation so you can grab a hold of opposite elbows. You can rock, sway side to side if it feels good. Bob up and down. Sending the breath all the way down the body into the feet and feeling it come back out like a little cycle. Let's go ahead and release those hands to the floor. We're going to inhale for halfway lift, nice long spine. Exhale, plant the palms, and we're going to step it back into our plank pose. And from this plank, you can lower the knees if you would like, but we're going to lower all the way down to the belly regardless. So you can go ahead, meet me all the way down onto our bellies. And we're going to come into our little floor scorpion because those are so effective of getting into the hips. So plant your hands in line with your shoulders. We're going to start with the right side. So first, you're going to lift that right leg up, just lifting it off the floor. And you're going to bend into the right knee. You're going to press into the right hand and start to rotate over towards the right hand. So rotating open to the side, reaching that right leg back, like your leg's a little scorpion tail. You can keep it low to the ground, or you can press it up. And you can continue to reach that right leg. If you'd like to add on here, you can open the right leg to the side, planting the right foot down flat on the ground. Your back might even crack too. Don't tell your chiropractor that though. You didn't do that, no. Now we're gonna go ahead and make our way back onto our bellies. And do it on the other side. So lifting the left leg up towards the sky. Bend into the knee and start to press into the left hand, opening up towards the left hand now. And again, that left leg can reach back behind you. Keeping the arms, the elbows bent low, or you can press it up, making some space. And you might be able to see if you can turn that knee towards the sky, planting the left foot down flat. And bring it back to center. Let's go ahead and press it back up. And we're going to meet back into our tabletop pose to do that whole sequence on the second side. In our bird dog, we will start on the left side this time. So you'll first extend the right leg back behind you. Turn again. So extending the left leg, you engage, press the floor away from you, and you might be able to reach the left arm. Am I doing that right? So right leg, left arm. Yes, right leg, left arm. Oh, we did that one first. Darn it. Okay, I thought I could do it. Darn it. Continue to breathe. And go ahead and release. Jumping into the second side, extend that left leg back behind you, or do the opposite if that's what you started with. And extend that right leg or the right arm up as well. Bring the hand and the knee back down. And we're going to take our quick Balasana, child's pose. So you can widen those knees again as much as comfortable, or take the more passive version. Extend those hands up towards the top of the mat, or again, the more passive version is keeping them down by your sides. Letting the shoulders round. And since we're doing child's pose again, maybe note how this one feels compared to the first one. And all that movement we did in between, and what a difference it makes. Let's go ahead and walk those hands back in. Rising back up. We'll make our way back into our downward facing dog. So you can, again, walk those hands out, send the hips up towards the sky. Jumping right into it. From our down dog, you're going to sweep the left leg up towards the sky, keeping it straight and squared in our Ikapada Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Three-legged dog. Bring that left foot up in between the palms. Again, so you're coming up onto the tippy toes of the right foot, making some space, sending the hips up as high as you can, and then you can grab that foot and throw it up where you need to be. Bring the back foot in, press the feet up to stand. We're going to come into our triangle pose, Trikonasana. So you're going to turn the back foot to the short edge of the mat, straighten the front leg, the left leg, send the hips back. Reach the arms up, reaching the left arm forward and taking your Trikonasana. And again, notice if you are collapsing down or trying to reach for the floor, see if you can lift and rise through the chest, spiraling it open. And you can keep that micro bend going in the front leg. Go ahead and rise it all the way up, coming into our reverse Trikonasana. Left arm up towards the sky, right hand grazing the back thigh. And then we're going to go ahead and come back up, and we're going to make our way into that half moon pose on the second side. So you can grab your block if you would like. Making it ready for you. And again, you're going to step the left foot up quite close to the block. When you think about the way that your foot and your hand are going to meet, you're going to make this like little skinny rectangle with the body starting out. And again, engaging through the standing leg, engaging the core. You might start by lifting the right leg, finding your balance. That right arm might be able to extend up towards the sky as you open it up towards the side of the mat. And then you might be able to continue to open it up, lifting that right leg in line with the body, in line with the hip and the torso. And if you fall out, again, you'll just come back, finding a little spot to look at. Kind of playing around with this motion. Again, getting used to it. If you're new to this very strange feeling, I feel like this pose goes against everything our balance tells us to do, because it feels so odd. You can finish where you're at. We'll go ahead and bring that foot back down, making our way into our or forward fold, feet about hip width distance apart. You can go ahead and relax and release. Either taking that ragdoll fold version with the grabbing a hold of opposite elbows, or letting the hands just kind of do their own thing. Let's go ahead and release those hands down to the floor if they haven't done so already. We will inhale, rise up for halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. We're going to step it back into our plank pose. We're going to go ahead and lower all the way down to our bellies one more time, making your way. And we're going to go ahead and start on the left side, doing the floor scorpions again. So plant the hands in line with the shoulders, lift the left leg up. You can bend into the left leg, back left knee, and start to press into the left hand, turning over towards the side. Bring it back in, and jumping into the right side, lift the right leg up. You can bend into the knee, start to reach and turn and twist over towards the right hand. Bring it back in, coming back onto our bellies. And we're going to press it up back into our tabletop pose. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to come into I'm going to give you two variations of this. We're going to do a pigeon, so Ardha Kapodasana, or a square pose. That way you can kind of play around with the depth and the pressure of your hips. So starting off, I'm not going to come closer. I'm going to turn to face you. So to make this as clear as possible, from our tabletop pose, taking the full pigeon version, you're going to bring the right knee up behind the right wrist, and you can extend the right leg back behind you. So just like normal pigeon, we'll be doing a lot of action here. So if you would like, you're going to pull that right knee, or the left knee, sorry, coming down onto the right hip. Bring that left knee in just a little bit. Might have to make some adjustments with the leg as long as you feel comfortable. But we're going to work on that internal, external rotation of both sides. So we're doing a little bit of pigeon flossing. And this is a great alternative for when you're fighting with your hips. We're going to add some engagement here. So from here on either side, so if you're in full pigeon, you're still going to lift up just the same. But from here in the square pose pigeon version, you'll lift up. It might be a little bit easier with the knees bent. So you'll engage through the glutes, pressing into those legs. You lift and rise up. Lower back down onto the right side. You're going to come onto the right hip. You're going to rotate the knees and come to face the opposite side. So if you're in that square version, the legs are going to jump immediately into position. But if you come into the full pigeon version, you're going to continue to rotate that back leg, coming into your full extended pigeon. Once you're on the left side, just kind of take a moment, let everything open up. And then we're going to make our way back up to the front of the mat. So you're going to rotate, coming down onto the left hip, rotate through those knees, and coming back onto the right side. So again, continuing to extend all the way up into that full pigeon, or continuing to take the knees a little bit bent. And then we're going to floss one more time, all the way to the back. This class is flying by. So this is the last thing that we're going to do, and we'll start to settle down. And one more time, let's go ahead and meet all the way back into the front of our mats, just to get there. And you can make your way into your tabletop as you finish your rotations. You can sway the hips, give your tailbone a little shake if it feels good. And we're gonna eventually, once you're here, make your way all the way down onto our backs. So you can bring the feet out in front of you, start to crank it down like you're coming into Shavasana, but not quite yet. We've got one more pose that we can fit in, maybe two if we're good about it. We're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, so reclined butterfly. Go ahead and bring those knees in towards the sit bones, bringing the soles of the feet together. You're going to let those knees drop open. Letting the breath start to slow down, coming to a nice pace that feels good for you. And the further away your feet are, the more you'll get the outer hips. And the further or the closer the feet are in towards the glutes, the more you'll get the inner thighs, the adductors. So you can kind of play around with the depth here. And the hands can rest on your belly, down by your sides, or if you would like, you can make a little figure 8 shape with the arms up overhead. And continue to breathe. You might begin to soften through the body, soften through the face. If the arms were up overhead, go ahead and bring them back down. You can use the hands to bring the knees back together. And go ahead and toe heel the feet to the outside edges of the mat, knocking the knees in for just a moment. Little counter rotation. We did a lot of mobility stuff. So just take your time. If there's any other movements or poses that you would like to do before we enter Shavasana, now is a great time to add a couple, like another twist. You might be able to extend the legs up to the sky. You might pop it up into your happy baby, or even just taking the knees a little bit wide, pulling the knees into the chest. You take happy baby, ground that tailbone into the floor, grab a hold of the ankles, the big toes with the 2-piece fingers, or the outside edges of the feet. No matter what pose you take or what movement you take, continue to take those deep belly breaths. And finish up wherever you're at. Maybe get that one more good breath in before you make your way to Shavasana, extending it long, releasing into the pose, taking up space. You might get cold, so if you have your socks, a sweatshirt, or a blanket nearby, get yourself ready to go. Tuck yourself in. Roll the shoulders down the back. Feeling yourself pause. Taking this moment to do absolutely nothing and letting our bodies process everything we've just done. We can come back to our little affirmation of, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because no matter what happened during this practice, you were here, you did the best that you could, you got your movement in, your blood flowing, connecting with your breath, your body. And sometimes that's all you can ask for. And soften through the face, relaxing the eyebrows, softening through the jaw and the cheeks. And we'll be here for a few more breaths. If you feel like you have to come out, do so slowly, taking your time. You can meet me in Sukhasana for a seated meditation. But enjoy your few moments of doing nothing. Let's go ahead and start deepening our breath. Coming back to the present moment. You can start by wiggling fingers and toes. Rolling out the wrists and the ankles. You can reach the arms up overhead for a full body stretch if you haven't done so already. And whenever you're ready, you can press back up to join me in Sukhasana, whether that be by turning to the side, taking pause in a little fetal position, or just jumping back up and close our eyes or keep the gaze soft. Taking a moment to check in. And see how you feel after the end of our practice. And I'd like you to join the hands at the center of the heart in our lotus mudra. So bringing the palms, the base of the palms together, touching the pinkies and the thumbs, opening up our fingers like a little flower. You'll bring that at the heart space. This mudra, the lotus mudra, is connected with the heart chakra. And you can keep your eyes closed or soften your gaze. You might even be able to imagine our ball of green chakra, or heart chakra light, or energy in the center of your mudra. And I'd like you to say one positive affirmation about yourself, either in your head or out loud if you feel comfortable. And I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'd like to finish this practice by chanting Om one time. You do not have to participate, but if you'd like to, you can do so inside your head or exhale everything out of your lungs. I'm going to go low this time, so you can get ready. Take a deep inhale in. Om. And you may bow forward if you would like. A little surrender. Thank you.